Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So on today's video, I'm going to speak about three things. Number one is that you should not be selling your banking stocks as of now. I feel that they are very near to a rally and good breakout is going to happen in that. So I will give you and help you understand that entire argument. Number 2 point, that I had been speaking about IDFC First Bank quite extensively over the last several months. I had decided to invest roughly 25 lakhs of capital on that bank. Now I'm sitting on roughly 120% profit on that stock in less than a year. So this is the second point, that will I be buying more IDFC First or am I cutting positions on it? अब तो बहुत बातें होने लग गई हैं, IDFC First is the best bank, this, that, but when the time was there to buy it, people were not buying it. Number 3, I will also speak about Kotak Mahindra Bank. It has been in news quite recently that Mr. Uday Kotak has resigned. What is going to happen to the bank? What does the future look like? I myself am an investor in it. Unfortunately, I have not made any money since the time I have invested in Kotak Mahindra Bank. The stock itself hasn't given any return in the last 3 years, and even my bet over the last 3-4 months since I have invested in Kotak Mahindra Bank, it hasn't moved. So I will speak about the future there as well. And also a very humble request that please watch this video till the very end. Please understand the complete picture. You are going to put your hard-earned money in the stock market. Please learn to absorb this complex commentary. I will link technicals, fundamentals, business, macroeconomics, tell you precisely, at least according to me, when these stocks are going to move. So please hear the entire argument and also go and watch other creators' video that will give you another perspective on these same stocks. So let's kick start, and also a very quick shout out to our sponsors for today, which is Vested. I always recommend people that you should diversify your investments outside India. I myself invested a lot of money in the US markets. I'm still buying a few stocks in the US as of now just to diversify my portfolio outside US. Those stocks have been doing exceedingly well. Right now, I'm buying a little bit more of Amazon. I will also link my Vest in the description and comment box, and also share my video on the 3-year P&L, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year P&L that I had discussed earlier. Please go and watch all these critical videos. You will understand more about me as an investor. So let's kick start. And point number 1 is that why is it a good time to be buying banking stocks and not selling much of it? And more importantly, why the banking stocks are likely to outperform Nifty from this point. So for this, let us look at the technicals, and you'll see that the current rally started somewhere in March, April. And since then, Nifty 50. So here I'm speaking about Nifty 50. Nifty 50 includes like pharma stocks, hotel stocks, FMCG stock, bank stocks, everything combined. This is the entire market in a way, or proxy of market in a way. That index has given how much return? It has given roughly 16.5% returns, right? So this is point 1. Now related to the fact that how has the banking sector done overall? And for that, the assessment tool is that look at the performance of Bank Nifty. So we will do the same analysis there, and let me pull up the chart. So you will clearly see that Bank Nifty in that same period has given roughly 13.74% return. The overall market had given like 16.5% return. So this difference of 3% is already there between these two segments. Now, on top of this, the fact is that when it comes to banks, the banking stocks are slightly more risky. Now, on top of this, add to the fact that banks are generally higher beta stocks. Now, beta means that they have higher volatility. Now, what is the meaning of volatility? In very simple words, it means that if Nifty typically goes up by, let's say, 100%, then let's say that the bank beta is 1.15. It means that if the Nifty 50 is going up by 100%, then bank should go up by 115%. Similarly, if Nifty 50 goes down by 100 points, then even the banks should go down by how much? 115 points. Why? Because the volatility is higher for banks. So I hope that you got the perspective of what is the meaning of high beta. So is banking a higher beta segment compared to Nifty? Yes, it is a higher beta segment. Typically, it is seen that finance stocks have higher beta, banks also have higher beta. So in a growing economy, bank should grow faster compared to the average Nifty 50. And here you are seeing that at least 3% का difference तो वैसे ही है, which should anyways recover. On top of that, if you add like 2% delta, then at least 5% returns are supposed to be there. Now, when will these 5% additional returns come? Well, they can happen any day. It might happen tomorrow itself. It might take a month. It might take 2 months. But is this 5% gap going to get filled? The answer is 99.99% yes. And that is the reason why you should not be selling your banking stocks in general. And that is the reason why I haven't sold even my IDFC First Bank also. Of course, there can be exceptions कि आपने एक खराब बैंक पकड़ लिया है, you don't have faith on it, you don't understand why you have invested your money in it, then you can take advantage of whatever rally is happening, cut those stocks and move on. No problem there. But net, you should be still a net investor in banking sector as of now, rather than being a net seller and unnecessarily booking profits. So in that spirit, let me discuss two banks that are very much in news these days. One is Kotak Mahindra Bank and one is IDFC First Bank. I will tell you the business differences between the two, the key points that you should remember as an investor, and what potential investment strategy, buy, sell, aggregate more, वगैरह, you should be adopting as of now. So let me give you my commentary and what is it that I am doing. This is not an investment advice. Please do whatever you feel like. I am just sharing my perspective on this entire scenario and I'm genuinely doing that, right? So let's kickstart and let me first talk about Kotak Mahindra Bank because बहुत questions इस पे आए हैं. Let me first discuss the technical and how much gains Kotak Mahindra Bank is likely to give and why. So let me show you the story from 2020, right? So if you check the technical graph here, what you would notice is that this is pre-COVID, right? Just before the COVID fall happened, this is the COVID fall. Then the bank recovered and since then it has been dancing in this particular range. That's it, right? So there is a channel bound trade that is happening on Kotak Mahindra Bank, right? So even if you assume that you are buying Kotak Mahindra Bank here, as per this channel strategy also, then there is still a good, how much gain to be made? So you can just check it from here that at least 13-14% का तो होना चाहिए, right? 13-14%. On top of this, if the company or if Kotak Mahindra Banks reaches its all-time previous high, then there is a good 31% gain that is supposed to come from Kotak Mahindra Bank. Now, under what circumstances this 31% gain would not happen? For that, please watch my scenario analysis that I'm going to subsequently do. But before that, let me show you another interesting point from the price movement of Kotak Mahindra Bank. And let me tell you कि कितने सालों में, in how many years, Kotak Mahindra Bank doubles in its stock price. So if you study the history of Kotak Mahindra Bank from let's say 2012, right? So 2012 से पढ़ते हैं. So here it was trading at roughly like 300 rupees, right? And then this was roughly 2012, right? Now by 2015, 2016, it doubled. So it became 600. Now when did it become 1200? So it became 1200 in 2018. So 2012, it was 300. By 2014, 2015, it was 600. And by 2018, it was 1400. So every 3.5-4 years, the stock price of Kotak Mahindra Bank doubles. So let me take you back to that technical chart that almost 3.5 years have happened and how much returns has Kotak Mahindra Bank given? It has given 0% return as of now. Now you will have a very natural question that maybe something is off with Kotak Mahindra Bank. Maybe the profits are not growing at the rate at which it used to grow. So of course the stock price cannot double from this point, right? So with that viewpoint in mind, let us discuss very quick numbers. So let us look at the profit and loss and let again study the story from 2012. I had shown you the price movement and look at the revenue doubling whenever it happens. So 2012, the revenues were at 8470. By 2016, did it double? Yes, it became more than double. Then by 2020, did it double? Well, it did not double, but if you study the profits actually more than doubled in this time frame. Now, where are we standing from 2020 to March of 2023? Has it doubled? No, not necessarily it has doubled, but what about profits? The profits have almost doubled. You should be more concerned about the bottom line growth, not necessarily the top line growth. The point I'm trying to tell you is very simple that see, the Kotak Mahindra Bank, if you study the history from here profit doubled, here profit doubled, here profit doubled. So why is it that the stock price will not double from what it was back in 2020? Now, chalo maan bhi lo that the stock price will not double, right? And what was the price pre-COVID? It was 1680, 1700 ke aspas. And what is the price today? The price today is again 1750. Hardly anything has happened. Now your revenues have at least gone up by like how much? They have gone up by like 33-34% here. What about profits? Profits have almost increased by like 100%. But the stock price has not even moved an inch. So at least आप ये तो मान के चलो कि the stock price is going to go up by like 31-32% and will hit its previous high. So therefore I feel that Kotak Mahindra Bank as of now is trading at very reasonable PE. There is underperformance in the entire banking sector, not an underperformance in business but underperformance in the stock price. So that is going to get covered up any day. So that is what my investment thesis on this is. Now when am I going to sell it? When am I going to buy more? Am I going to aggregate more position? I make all this fundamental comment commentary, more from a learning perspective on my member YouTube community. You can definitely go check it out, try it for a month, see the results for yourself, and then you can decide whether or not to renew your subscription. So that's a very simple approach that you can take. So anyways, coming back to Kotak Mahindra, because many a times it has been said कि यार इसका PE बहुत ज़्यादा होता है, right? And it's like at 21 का PE and whatnot. So should we even consider it? Are there better banks in the picture? See, you need to consider the fact that right now the PE of Kotak Mahindra Bank is roughly like 21. And ask yourself, when did this PE last exist on Kotak Mahindra Bank, right? And you will be surprised to learn that it existed somewhere here in this zone, right? Lower than this PE only existed back in 2008 when there was an entire financial meltdown started by the banks itself. So usse kam PE pe you are unlikely to get something like Kotak Mahindra Bank. I feel that the stock has pretty much bottomed out. The next sensible level it will go back to, hopefully very soon, is that 30-31% gain that I had earlier spoken. So I am going to hold the stock till there very easily. गिर जाए 4-5-6% and all that stuff, then I will probably make a decision to buy more. But I do not see that anything negative has happened on the bank as of now. Now, in that context, recently a news came out that Mr. Uday Kotak, who had helped build the entire bank, who was the person who was heading the entire realm of Kotak Mahindra Bank, he had resigned for a wide range of reasons. So let me give you a very quick commentary on that and let me share my perspective. In case you are interested in learning more about history of Kotak Mahindra Bank, please read this 3-4 paragraphs. It will help you educate more about Kotak Mahindra Bank and it will increase your knowledge. But let me not delve deeper into it on this video. Now, one key point that I would like to outline on this management change is this particular paragraph. Now, this particular paragraph talks about the change that when Mr. KV Kamath, who is now going to head the Geo Finance, when he was replaced by Chanda Kochar. And we all know that in the initial phase, when Chanda Kochar started to build ICICI Bank, she was seen as a very competent leader. The stock price also grew. The bank did exceptionally well. So this change of command from Mr. KV Kamath, who was a stalwart in terms of Indian banking industry, in terms of growing ICICI Bank, even when he was replaced, the ICICI Bank continued to do really well. So this is the first central point that you need to understand, that just because the head person gets changed, it's not something that is a foul play or the bank will not grow after that and all that. On top of this, you need to remember 2-3 quick points here. That see, point number 1 is that whenever a major head of a bank goes away, people who are like second, third, fourth, they might be thinking, yeah, you know what, I should get that MD CEO post. And if they don't get, then what happens? Okay, so this you can study from the history also of ICICI Bank. There are a lot of people who are thinking, yeah, हमें, chairman बना दिया जाएगा, हमें CEO बना दिया जाएगा. They leave the bank to do something else. So these type of changes will come. And by picking and making this as a news, the Kotak Mahindra Bank stock price can be made to fall a little bit, right? So I'm already warning you on that. So please remember the history of ICICI Bank. Something like that might happen. I'm saying might because there is another key point that Mr. Jay Kotak, who is the son of Mr. Uday Kotak, he heads Kotak 811, which is the digital arm of Kotak Mahindra Bank. So there is a very clear succession plan in line. I am not saying that Mr. Jay Kotak is immediately going to become the MD CEO of the bank, nothing like that. He might go through the chains and eventually become the head, but at least a line of succession is very clear. People understand yaar ho kya raha hai, right? So I mean, from that perspective, please understand that the succession plan has been put in a good spot from that angle. And on top of that, please consider Mr. Uday Kotak's age, that he was 64, 65. I would double check it and put it here. So I think he has fairly managed the bank for a significantly longer amount of time. He has built the entire organization. And now I think he is fairly thinking about creating a succession plan. So creating a foul play around it or thinking, yaar, sab gadbad ho jayega bank mein, I don't think that would be the right way of approaching it. It's cleanly managed bank, nothing off, very clear succession plan, capable people managing it. Short term में हो सकता है कि 2-3 leaders छोड़ छाड़ दें and all that stuff, but I don't think that anything major negative is going to come. So I think that wraps up the conversation on Kotak Mahindra Bank. I do see it doubling from this stage. Now, let me talk about another bank which can triple from this stage and which according to me still remains IDFC First Bank. I'll say, yeah, Akshat, you're sitting on like 115% profit on IDFC First Bank. You are still saying that IDFC First Bank can triple. Why is that? Okay, so let me quickly comment. So here you need to understand the type of work Kotak Mahindra Bank does, IDFC First Bank does, HDFC Bank does, and what is happening in the macro economy overall speaking. So just to set some context, Kotak Mahindra Bank right now is the third biggest bank in India. Its market cap is 1/3 that of HDFC Bank, right? Now, if you compare something like IDFC First, how much is the market cap for that? It's at 65 55 as of now, right? The point I am trying to outlay here is that it is almost 1/11th the size of HDFC Bank. From this point, can it go to like 1.8 lakh crore? So that is the simple bet that I am playing. And I do feel that they can go to 1.8 lakh crores. Now, why am I saying this? There are two specific reasons for that. So see, if you study the macroeconomics of India, what you will realize is that India can be segmented into three buckets, A, B, C. In fact, a fourth bucket can also be created. But let's look at three prominent customer buckets. So the first bucket would be slightly more affluent people, top 20%, right? So this population is like 250 to 300 million. Then the second bucket would be middle class, and third bucket is this. Now this segment might be underbanked. So here banking is already penetrating, that a lot of Jan Dhan, Aadhaar, mobile and all that network has been built. So these people will get access to banking. What about these people? Now more and more these people are going to migrate towards this segment. Why? Because the discretionary income will grow. On top of that, what has started to happen in the Indian market is that everyone is starting something called as credit-based businesses. Credit का तो नाम ही credit है एक तरीके से. On top of that, everyone is saying that 12% FD, 15% bond, this, that, NBFC business, all are what? All are credit-based businesses who are being pushed to take these credit or loans. Well, it is these people. So as this Jansankhya grows, who is going to benefit the most? The banks are going to benefit the most. Well, more importantly, the banks who can grow from a small base, something like 65,000 to 1.5 lakhs. On top of that, if the bank is managed by someone who knows how to play the game. So Mr. Vaidyanathan had built ICICI Bank in the past. He's doing exactly the same thing with IDFC First. So even now, I genuinely feel that this 1.5 lakh market cap can be attained for IDFC First Bank. Now, if the market cap becomes 2.53x, then of course the stock price will also 2.53. So these are all qualitative, and you'll say कि यार ये तो हर कोई story सुनाता रहता है कि discretionary income बढ़ जाएगी and all this and all this and all this and all this. Okay, so let me tell you some quants also. So here is the segment-wise breakup of IDFC First Bank. What you will notice is that right now for IDFC First Bank, almost 57% of their business comes from retail banking. Now, what is the meaning of retail banking? Retail banking means that, for example, आप और मेरे जैसे लोग, we go to the bank, FD में पैसा डाल दो, savings account में पैसा डाल दो. So this is like retail banking. This is the cheapest form of credit that the bank can get. And now I will show you a snippet here, and I'll come back to this particular chart. So if I show you the snippet, this is from Mr. Vaidyanathan's interview, and here he was asked a question that there is a fight for liabilities. Liabilities means कि bank deposit, retail investor से कि हमारा FD का पैसा ले लो, savings का पैसा ले लो and all that. Your bank deposits have grown by 37% a year and 9% quarter on quarter. इसका राज क्या है, राइट? तो बहुत सिंपल सा राज है, राइट? दैट दे आर ऑफरिंग हायर इंटरेस्ट रेट, एंड हम जैसे लोग, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई हैड ऑल माई अकाउंट्स इन HDFC बैंक. IDFC फर्स्ट ऑफर लेके आया दैट कि आपके बैंक में फालतू पैसे पड़े रहते हैं, टेक लाइक 0.5% मोर देन HDFC. ओके, कूल, वेरी गुड. सो आई ट्रांसफर्ड वन ऑफ माई अकाउंट्स टू IDFC फर्स्ट बैंक. देन माई रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर फ्रॉम HDFC बैंक स्टार्टेड कॉलिंग मी कि नहीं, ऐसा थोड़ी होता है, राइट? सो एट द एंड ऑफ इट, व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल यू इज दैट दिस इज समथिंग दैट आई हैव पर्सनली सीन, दैट IDFC फर्स्ट बैंक इज ऑफरिंग बेटर FD rates, better savings deposit rates, all that. Okay, now many people will say कि यार Akshat, you are putting your money in FD, you are putting your money in savings. See guys, I take like bulk bets. When the market is right for me, I'll plug all this money back into the market. Sometimes I book profits, keep it a little while. So my FD savings money is kept from that perspective, not कि FD में I make investments. I don't do that. So just setting the context there. So I hope that you got that picture. So in the first battle, IDFC First has actually won that war already, that they have been able to grow their retail banking business really, really fast. बहुत सिंपल सी मेथड उन्होंने अपनाया, हम तो ज़्यादा देंगे, राइट? आप मजे करो, राइट? सो दैट इज वॉट दे डिड, एंड दे वर स्टिल प्रॉफिटेबल. सो जस्ट लुक एट द रेट एट विच द बैंक इज ग्रोइंग. सो दे हैव बीन एबल टू डबल देयर रेवेन्यूज, राइट? क्लियरली डबल देयर रेवेन्यूज. व्हाट अबाउट प्रॉफिट्स? So profits we can't judge, but at least profits आप यहाँ से देख लो, right? From 2021 to trailing 12 month, it is almost 6 times profits, right? So despite offering better rate of interest on FDs and other accounts, they are able to maintain a very healthy profitability, which is extremely commendable. Where is the next layer of growth for IDFC First Bank is going to come from? Very simple. Number one, branch expansions. जैसे HDFC की ब्रांचें आपको हर जगह मिल जाएंगी. And by the way, I'm not criticizing HDFC Bank. I'm still a very big holder in HDFC Bank. I'm not talking about HDFC Bank on this video. So anyways, back to topic. IDFC First May, there will be expansion of branches, which is already very much underway. Credit card, that's another business, card business that is also going to grow. It's already growing. Their wholesale / corporate banking is also going to grow from this point. And even if its retail banking slows down, then also there are enough levers for growth for IDFC First Bank. अब बोलोगे यार IDFC First Bank has given like 115-120% profit for you. So are you still buying it? See, I'm not buying, guys. I'm done, right? Whatever investment I had to make, I have a significant investment on it already. But from a valuation point of view, what needs to be seen is that if you consider the PE ratio, it has barely moved. It is still sticking to this, right? Around 20, which is where majority P for all the other banks have also been stuck. All the other private banks, for example, Kotak Mahindra Bank, HDFC, it's around like 20 only. So it's not as if ki valuation bahut zyada ho gaye. It's because in the PE ratio, their earnings also have gone up and price also have gone up. Therefore, you're just looking at the price. Kya price increase ho gayi, right? So yes, price has increased, but also please observe the fact that earning has also gone up. Okay, one more important news around IDFC First Bank is that GQG Partners has invested in IDFC First Bank. And everyone knows that GQG is backing like Adani Group. So some people are saying that Adani Group is investing in IDFC First. So see guys, I don't know that what is happening here. A lot of FIIs, DIIs can build their position in multiple companies. I don't think that there is too much point in reading too much into it. It's GQG's personal business, whom they invest their money in, all that stuff. Let them do it. It has got nothing to do with Adani, IDFC First linkage and GQG and all that stuff. Please don't stress too much about it. Am I buying Adani stocks? No, I have no interest in it. बहुत अच्छे stocks हैं, which you can buy, hold, wait for a couple of years and they can give you 2x, 3x returns. I discussed 2 of the options. Now on my member community, I'm going to discuss 3-4 more good options in banks tomorrow. So please wait out for that post. And in case you want to join that community, please check out the links. In case you're interested on knowing my perspective on Geo Finance, because again, that is a very strong finance stock, please consider watching this video. It's a very good video. It will help you understand the basics around it and will help you take a more informed call. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon.